Karl Malone is one of the greatest NBA players to ever lace them up. His accomplishments are unreal. He had the pure dominance and longevity that very few players have ever been able to attain. But when it's time to discuss who's the greatest of all time, his name is rarely ever brought up. There's a very good reason for that. Like the rest of the greats, controversy follows wherever they go. This is 5 things the NBA wants you to forget about Karl Malone.
And sound like this to everybody in the league, okay? I think it's great if you want to come back. I think it's great for the game and great for the organization. And basically, that's it.
Did you have concerns earlier that he was HIV positive?
I just told you. End of story.
Magic Johnson's return to the NBA after he was forced to retire due to him contracting HIV is remembered as something positive, and rightfully so. This was thought to be a death sentence, and here's Magic, not only surviving and living his life, but coming back to play basketball in the NBA. Magic wasn't welcomed back with open arms, however. Karl Malone tried to rally players against Magic Johnson's comeback, but he was unsuccessful. Could it be because he didn't want the Lakers to improve and hurt the Utah Jazz's championship chances? Or is he just a shitty person? Karl Malone wasn't the only player who was against Magic Johnson's comeback efforts. But now it seems it's just water under the bridge between the two former competitors.
To poor shooting starts. The Spurs 1 for 5 and Utah 2 for 6, and David Robinson goes down immediately. David got hit and went down, and David may be out. He got knocked, trainer. And let's take a look again. It appeared as though he tangled with Karl Malone right there as Karl swung the elbow and hit him in the back of the head. And my gosh, David went out immediately and landed.
Karl Malone is one of the dirtiest players in NBA history. His elbows just seem to be attracted to a lot of people's heads. There are many examples of Karl Malone doing his best MMA impressions, but I've gone with him knocking out David Robinson because of how absurd it looked. And also the fact that, a 7-foot man mountain got knocked out cold by a straight elbow. This wasn't a basketball move. Him almost killing Isaiah Thomas with another, you guessed it, straight elbow is a close second. Michael Jordan has also caught a straight elbow, so has Steve Nash. Macho Man might have some competition in terms of the most dangerous elbow in history.
She is a mirror image of her famous father.
Cheryl Ford, great post-up move and lays it over the front of the rim. Cheryl Ford getting the job done inside. Ford with another rebound. Cheryl Ford, outstanding effort.
Her bruising style of play, it's the same that made her father one of the NBA's greatest power forwards. When Cheryl Ford and her twin brother Daryl were born to Benita Ford 22 years ago in Louisiana, their dad, Karl Malone, was at the hospital. Then, just weeks after graduating from high school, he vanished from their lives.
When Karl Malone was still in high school at 17, he and Bonita Ford had twins. Karl Malone visited them in the hospital and didn't see them again for nearly 20 years. A paternity suit was eventually filed and settled out of court, and the details were never made public. It took public pressure and a major publication publishing the story about Karl Malone being listed as a defendant in a paternity suit for him to actually meet them. As for the twins, they turned out better than fine. One of the twins, Cheryl Ford, took up a career in basketball like her father and retired as a 3-time WNBA champion, 4-time WNBA All-Star, with a WNBA Rookie of the Year trophy as well. Daryl Ford, the other half of the twins, was also into basketball. He helped his high school team get into a top 28 tournament and got a scholarship to Louisiana Tech, like his father. He only appeared in 7 games, all during his freshman season.
Brian has been talking a lot as of late, talking about his Laker team, currently 3 games over 500, talking about his life-changing experiences over the last 18 months, which has affected his image, and yes, talking about Karl Malone and explaining why he accused his former teammate of making a pass at his wife Vanessa.
Karl Malone is remembered mostly for his time with the Utah Jazz, but he spent a season on the Lakers in search of his first championship. During his lone season in LA, the mailman was very productive, averaging 13-9, but injuries only allowed him to deliver 42 times during the regular season. Despite coming close to winning it all in the end, the Lakers decided to let a still very productive Karl Malone walk because of his beef with Kobe Bryant. This was a very interesting summer for the Lakers and Kobe as well. You can check out the other drama in this video. The reason the Lakers let Karl Malone go was because he made passes and comments towards Vanessa Bryant during the season and Kobe wasn't having it anymore. What allegedly sent Kobe over the edge after multiple statements was Malone when asked by Vanessa Bryant, "Hey cowboy, what are you hunting?" in reference to Malone wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And Karl Malone answered, "I'm hunting for little Mexican girls." Add to that him asking her for a hug, him asking her if she could keep a secret. Vanessa had to remind him that not only is she married, but so is he. What's even crazier is that Karl Malone and Kobe Bryant had started a decent friendship, with Malone becoming somewhat of a mentor to the then young superstar.
Malone, aka the mailman, was really good in his day. Try second all-time in points scored in NBA history good. However, while this is all fun and great, Malone's troubling past and consistently unforgiving mindset should not be paraded as a label of victim to Air Jordan. No, far from it. Malone attended Louisiana Tech University from 1982 to 1985, where he averaged about 19 points per game. He was the Conference Player of the Year, and his jersey number was retired by the school. There's more to it than basketball. During Malone's sophomore season at Louisiana Tech, Demetrius was born to 13-year-old Gloria Bell. Yes, you read that correctly. Malone impregnated a 13-year-old girl while in college.
The single number one thing that dominates every debate, including Karl Malone. He's a two-time MVP, has 14 All-Star appearances, and more All-NBA first-team selections than you can count with both hands. Oh, and is second all-time in scoring. His resume is packed. The only thing missing is that NBA championship. But when it's time to discuss who is the greatest of all time, his name is rarely brought up. Everyone else in the top 5 in scoring gets brought up. Kareem, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan. But Karl Malone's name is always missing. When Karl Malone was 20 and a sophomore in college, he had another child. When news broke of him allegedly fathering the twins, the news of him fathering another child also broke. Nothing wrong with that. He might be a deadbeat father. There's a lot of those on this planet. The age of the mother when she gave birth is what's mind-boggling. She was 13 when she gave birth, meaning there's a real likelihood she was 12 when the child was conceived. I don't know where you live, but it's rape. It really shouldn't matter where you live. A 12 or 13-year-old can't consent. You can't justify this. He was 20 in college. The family of the woman, child, she was still a child. The family of the child didn't want to press charges and ruin his career, but they wanted to get some compensation to help raise the kid. Karl Malone said nope. Despite being in the NBA and making millions, he refused to pay $125 a week in child support because, according to him, it was too much. Eventually, it was settled out of court. Karl Malone never talks about his son, DeMetrIus Bell, who ended up getting drafted in the 7th round of the NFL draft. He played 4 years in the NFL. Him and Karl Malone eventually met, and Karl told him, "It's too late for us to have a relationship." This has been 5 things the NBA wants you to forget about Karl Malone. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Go30. I'm out here.